Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. We are live on YouTube. We got a brand new list. Argentina national team. They're playing two matches, one in January, one at the very beginning of February. We're going to talk about it all. Lionel Messi not included, Christian Romero not included, Emiliano Buendia, Alexis McAllister both included, Paulo Dybala included. A lot of people. Let's get to it. I see a couple of people in the chat as well already. I see George is in there. I see Anthony. I see Paro Miguel. I see Jaco Taco. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you're watching us live, hope you are going to enjoy the show. If you're watching us on repeat on YouTube, likewise, hope you enjoy the show. If you like what you see, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and let's get to it. In case you've been living under a rock, it's been about a week. Anticipation's been building. Brand new list. Lionel Scaloni has announced it, and you know what? I'm gonna put that on the side just for a split second because hey, everyone's here. Everyone's here. Paro Miguel, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Wes Mills as well. Welcome, and Amen, welcome back. Yes, after 2 months, we're doing a live first live of 2022. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're all doing well, and hopefully we all have that one, at least football related wish for 2022. We're not going to talk about it. We are not going to talk about it. Hey, I remember this name. This is a very familiar name as well. Hello, buddy. How are you? Hope you are doing well. I'm excited. Hopefully, everyone's excited. We're going to break down the list a little bit, see maybe who could shine in these two matches for Argentina. They're up against Chile away at altitude. It's going to be in the desert, and then a second one at home versus Colombia. There's been rumors that the one versus Colombia might not be in Buenos Aires, might be in Mendoza, or maybe even Cordoba. We're getting some news. So let's get to it. Let's take a look at the list. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Let's see the list that Lionel Scaloni has selected once more. No Lionel Messi. He is not in the team, and that's been reported for for a couple of days now. For a couple of days, closely, possibly even a week. So here we go. Starting at the top, four goalkeepers. Franco Armani. Esteban Andrada is back, the former Boca Juniors goalkeeper. He's back in the team. Emiliano Martinez, the starting goalkeeper, and Juan Musso. So those are the four goalkeepers that Scaloni is going with. Some familiar names. Talking about familiar names, that back line, no one really knew. Nahuel Molina, Gonzalo Montiel, Lucas Martinez Cuarta, Pesela, Otamendi, Lisandro Martinez, Nicolas Tagliafico, and Marcos Acuna. There were rumors of possibly Senesi of Feyenoord, but he does not make the final cut. For the midfielders, Nicolas Gonzalez of Fiorentina, Lucas Ocampos is back in the squad, Leandro Paredes, Guido Rodriguez, Rodrigo De Paul, Gio Lo Celso, Alejandro Papu Gomez, and those two names, the Premier League names, Alexis McAllister of Brighton and Emiliano Buendia of Aston Villa. Those we're going to get to in just a little bit. And then the forwards, Angel Di Maria, the hero, Angel Correa, Julian Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, Joaquin Correa, and Paulo Dybala. And that last name in particular, we are going to talk about Paulo Dybala and Joaquin Correa as well. Correa injured for Inter Milan in their match versus Empoli just a couple of hours ago, about 2-3 hours ago, got injured after the list was announced. So who knows what his status is? It remains to be seen. Who knows if Scaloni will keep him, will call up a replacement. Obviously, some people right away said, "Hey, no need for Correa. We could bring in Gio Simeone." We'll see, Simeone of Verona. So let's see. MN writes, hopefully the unbeaten streak continues. I truly hope so. Wes Mills, I'll be in Chile and Argentina for both matches. Hey, won't be at either match since they moved both matches away from the capitals. But you know what? Hopefully you get to celebrate two Argentina victories, or at the very least, no defeats. We got to keep that undefeated streak going, right? We got to keep that undefeated streak going. Nadim writes, why are four goalkeepers called again and again? Why Armani should be called? Why Rui is not playing well in Europe? Why there's no audit in defense despite having opportunities after so many rumors? Why some young players were not given the opportunity? Those are some very good questions. And my guess is, just judging by this list, I think Scaloni has at the very least, maybe 18 to 20 players ready for the World Cup. And the other ones, maybe the ones that, like McAllister and Buendia, maybe with an outside chance of getting in. I think Scaloni's gearing up for the World Cup. It's in a couple of, I say a couple of months. It begins about 10 months time, 10, 11 months. And I think that's what Scaloni's dealing with. I don't think we're going to see Senesi. I saw some people mention on Twitter, Walter Benitez, the goalkeeper from Nice in Ligue 1. But, if they're not in it at this point, I don't think they're going to be called up in the friendly match versus Italy in June, or potentially even the potential friendly match versus Brazil in the summer. Yes, that is being rumored. That was reported today in Brazil, that Argentina possibly could play Brazil in a friendly match around summertime. So that's another one. So if those players are not called up now, chances are they're not going to be called up in a couple of months' time, right before the World Cup. Paulo Miguel, loving the energy. The unbeaten streak will continue. Jaco Taco, you know more than me in this case. So Senesi has been poor recently. I do not think it's a big miss. I haven't seen Feyenoord since, I'll be very, very honest, around September, October is when I started losing track of Senesi. But in terms of his performances, so I've heard he hasn't been too good though. But I mean, poor. That's something. That's something. Anthony, thank you. And Heidi, I'm sorry if I mispronounce. Is it Heidi? I think Free Senesi and Free Sule. So Sule is another one from Juventus. He was rumored to potentially make the team along with Paulo Dybala. He's not picked. And let's go with this. I'm going to go with this question, then we'll get back to the list. So MN asks, do you think Scaloni will try new players with new formations or take it seriously and play the strongest team? I'll give my opinion. As I give my opinion, I would love to get your feedback, your answers. Let me know in the chat. I'll bring a couple of them up, and we'll see if we have the same way of thinking. So I don't think he's going to try too many new players, just because the match against Colombia at home, that's always the match you want to win. And the match against Colombia, the Colombians will definitely be pushing for it. Getting a win in Argentina on Argentine soil for Colombia would be huge. It'd be a big, big boost. So I do see a very strong team there. And against Chile, it's in the desert. It's going to be played at altitude. It's not going to be played in Santiago. So who knows if maybe Scaloni tries out some players there. Although I would like to think, most of the starting 11, I think, will be the regular 11 that we've been getting. Although up front at this point, who knows who we're going to get. Obviously, Lautaro's there, but what if he's not good to go? What if he has to be substituted? Who do we go with? Joaquin Correa, injured. He might not make it at this point. Who knows? So personally, I see Scaloni fielding a strong 11 in both matches. That's my opinion. Maybe tinkering a little bit in the formation, but I think in both matches we're going to get a strong starting 11. Sonia writes, very happy to see Paulo Dybala's here. I am as well, and I was having this conversation over on Twitter regarding Dybala. And again, I want your feedback. I want everybody's feedback here. But I was having this conversation, and I know I said it in the last video, and I'm going to repeat myself. I truly think, especially with Messi not there now, because it's not like Messi's there and people are wondering, is Messi going to play the full 90? Is he not? Messi's not there. And this is, I would like to think maybe Dybala gets the start and he gets the shine. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. For me, Dybala, this is it. He has to show up. He has to do well, because for Argentina recently, it's been some bad luck. He'll play 45 minutes and gets injured and misses the second half and misses the second match of the round. So he has to really, really push himself, because I do not think that Paulo Dybala's spot for Argentina in the squad is guaranteed. His spot in the starting 11, he doesn't have it, and his spot in the squad in the list of 23, or recently because of COVID in the list of 28, it's not a guarantee. So he has to show that he belongs there. Obviously, he does. Talent-wise, he does, but he has to show it on the pitch. And unfortunately for Argentina recently, he has not been showing it. He really has not been showing it. Amen. How many players will be in the squad for the World Cup? No one knows yet. From now till 10 months from now, 10, 11 months from now, no one truly knows. They might say 23, change it to 28, change it back to 23. No one knows. Anthony, in regards to the 11 and the formation, says he would like to try out Julian Alvarez as the number 9 to give him some international experience. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Lautaro's definitely going to be he has to play versus Colombia. Absolutely has to play versus Colombia at home. You need that win. And if you want to give Alvarez some minutes, this could be the match versus Chile. Try him out, see how he does there. Maybe give him a little 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Give him a half and see how he does. Jaco Taco, the Chile game is first, which is rare. We normally play our away matches second. Yes, normally, except I believe the last match, the last round, it was Uruguay away and then Brazil at home. But other than that, it has been the opposite. It certainly has been the opposite. So we'll see what Scaloni does with that. And another comment, Dybala's on fire. Dybala is on fire. And, he gets that momentum. And then when he joins the national team, more often than not, unfortunately, things do not go well for him. But let's hope he does. Let's hope things go really, really well for him. Nadim, Cuti Romero is prone to injury, so 2 more center backs, including Lisandro Martinez, should be ready with a young left back to be found now. I agree. I would love to see Lisandro Martinez get the start instead of maybe Pesela or Martinez Cuarta alongside Otamendi. I would love to see him in the starting 11. And who knows? He has a couple of training sessions to try and convince Scaloni. We might end up seeing the duo of Otamendi and Cuti Romero. Continuing, Jaco Taco, yeah, with Kun retired, I think it's a guarantee that that maybe if this is what you're talking about, Jaco Taco, I do apologize, that maybe Alvarez gets some experience as the backup because of Correa being out as well. Wes Mills, I agree with this. I'm disappointed that Simeone and Lanzini did not get called. I really think they deserve looks, especially Lanzini, since Lo Celso hasn't been playing well for Spurs. Lo Celso has not been playing for Spurs, let alone playing well. I know Tottenham played actually today and got some miraculous victory, 3-2 versus Leicester. I didn't check the starting 11 to see if he played. I know Cuti Romero didn't start, so I don't think I saw Lo Celso's name in the starting 11 either. But those are 2 players that have been doing very, very well, especially Lanzini. And it does appear as though Scaloni, he went with Alexis McAllister and Emiliano Buendia over Lanzini. He picked two names from the Premier League, 2 relatively new names. Buendia hasn't played for Argentina, has been selected a couple of times, never really played. And McAllister was selected, I think, once or twice under Scaloni a couple of years back, but he hasn't been picked for a while, if I'm not mistaken, since, I want to say since the Bolivia match about last year and a half ago or so. So it's interesting to see Scaloni's picks, the fact that he decided to go with Alexis McAllister of Brighton and Buendia of Aston Villa over Lanzini of West Ham. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Maybe Lanzini for him, maybe he's too injury prone. Who knows? We'll see. But I am disappointed. I would have liked to have seen Lanzini in the starting 11, and specifically for Lo Celso. I agree with you, Wes Mills. I really, really do. Paulo Miguel, we need a player like Buendia. He has qualities we don't currently have. He played very, very well for Aston Villa versus Manchester United a couple of days ago. I thought he was sensational. Probably the best player on the pitch, or one of the best players on the pitch, not just for Aston Villa, but period, including Manchester United. And it looks like now he's starting to develop. He's starting to get that confidence that maybe he didn't have at the start of the season. But either way, very, very glad to see him there. MN, has Dybala ever played at a World Cup? He has. He's gotten a few minutes versus Croatia in the last World Cup. But other than that, no. He was not there in 2014, 2018. Got a few minutes in. I believe it was only against Croatia. I don't think he got any minutes at all versus Nigeria, and he didn't play versus France either. So, Dybala's had a handful of minutes. Mixed Memorabilia, hello. Thank you for joining us. Glad you could be here. And Jaco Taco, that's exactly it for Dybala. He got a few minutes in 2018. So looking back at the list really, really quickly, in terms of the goalkeepers, look, I know a lot of people are asking for Walter Benitez. I would love to see him in the squad. I think he really deserves to be in the squad. And if you read some of the rumors going on regarding him, it looks as if France are looking to call him up. From what's being said, he has a French citizenship, so he would be eligible to play for the reigning World Cup champions, as opposed to ever being selected for the reigning Copa America champions. But those are the 4 goalkeepers. Defenders, I would love to see Lisandro Martinez and possibly Otamendi pairing. And if we look at it, I mean, going back here, Nicolas Tagliafico, another one that looks to be falling down the pecking order, and Marcos Acuna, that starting 11 is his. Tagliafico's been linked with a couple of clubs, most notably Napoli, although Barcelona appeared to be interested, but at the time being, Napoli seemed to be the front runners to sign him. So we'll see what happens with Tagliafico. But for me, my back line, and let me know what you think. But let me know about your back line. Mine would be Dibu Martinez. I would have Marcos Acuna, Otamendi. Obviously, with no Christian Romero, I would go with Lisandro Martinez. And right back, either Montiel or Molina. I think both do very, very well when they play for Argentina. Although Molina has been selected a lot more instead of Montiel recently. Mixed Memorabilia asks, what do you think of Buendia being part of the national team squad? I think it's deserved. I truly think it's deserved. He never really got a chance with the national team. He's been selected a few times. He was doing well with Norwich last season, and he's starting to really hit his stride, as I mentioned, hitting a very, very good patch of form for Aston Villa. And, I would love to see him get some minutes, be it against Chile and against Colombia. I wouldn't mind. And hopefully, he's one that we could use. Hopefully, he ends up making future squads because I think he can be very, very versatile and very, very useful on the team. So let's see. Here we go. Jacko Taco. There you go. So Buendia needs to prove himself. Dominating the championship and the Premier League and the World Cup qualifiers are two different things. And I agree, it's two different animals. Absolutely. Two very, very different games, different style, different everything, different teammates. But and maybe it's something that Scaloni sees in training that he doesn't like about Buendia, but he's been selected a few times and never gotten his debut. He hasn't played for Argentina yet, so hopefully he gets his chance. But who knows? Who knows? MN, what do you think about Lucas Ocampo since being dropped from the squad in the summer? I'll say this: I thought we would absolutely miss Ocampos at the Copa America. Obviously, I was proven wrong. I thought we would. But based off form last season, yeah, he should not have, or at least towards the end of last season, he should not have been selected for the Copa America based off form. And it's been about a month since maybe, the end of last year, since the end of 2021, that Ocampos has slowly started to play well again. And I'm not talking about goals or assists, but just his overall game. I think he's slowly going back to his old form that he had about a year ago. So I'm happy with him being back in the squad, and he's one that we'll definitely use, especially moving forward at the World Cup. You need those wingers, you need those players that track back, and they do some of the dirty work. So hopefully Ocampos could be one of them. Anthony agrees with my back line. Good, excellent. I like that. I like that. Paulo Miguel writes Dibu, Montiel, Otamendi, Lisandro Martinez, and Acuna. So similar back line. West Ham clips. Hello. Here we got it for Manuel Lanzini, but I think having a rest can do him well in the long run. Obviously for West Ham, yes, definitely. But as an Argentina fan, I would love to see him get the opportunity. He was selected for 2018, and he was part of that 11. Sampaoli had a starting 11, and Lanzini was playing. Lanzini was there and was playing very, very well. Ultimately, he got injured. Sampaoli lost the script, and we all know what happened there. But as a West Ham fan, yes, you definitely want to see Lanzini get the rest that he does deserve, especially considering he is injury prone, so you might not want to push him too much. However, as an Argentina fan, these are two games right before our last two qualifying games, and our next one appears to be in June, or no, sorry, in March even. Sorry, there's another set of World Cup qualifiers in March. So him not getting selected now, hopefully he does get selected at one point prior to the World Cup, and hopefully he gets to stay healthy. Very good question here. Tulio Lasansky asks, do you think Molina should leave Udinese for a better or more consistent team? At the moment, no. Keep him where he is. We need him. And the last thing I want is for him to move to a club right before the World Cup. But on a broader note, as long as he's playing well and getting minutes, I have no problem. Obviously, if he were to play for a Champions League team, maybe move over to Atalanta like Musso did, whether he stays in Italy or goes to Spain, why not if he could get some Champions League minutes? But I would rather he get some minutes regularly and plays as opposed to going to a bigger team, not playing and staying on the bench. That's my opinion regarding Molina, because I think he's at the moment he's Argentina's starting 11 at the moment. Jacotako, Buendia can technically still play for Spain. We need to give him a few minutes just to cap tie him. Sorry. Yes, technically that is true. That is true. Buendia represented Argentina at youth level, but he has never really represented Argentina at international level, senior and in official matches. So he could still play for Spain, but I would be shocked. I would be very, very surprised if he ended up playing for Spain. But stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Jakutaku Udinese is a good team as a stepping stone. The likes of Alexis Sanchez, Musso, and DePaul all started in Italy. Yes, they did, and they all went on to have, or are having, rather, pretty good careers. All three of them Copa America winners. One of them, it hurts to say that he is a Copa America winner. Regarding Lanzini, he is on fire. Yes, a great opportunity with respect to playing without Messi, absolutely, and evolving with the right balance. And that's going to be something that's going to be something you want to keep an eye on, right? Because these are not friendly matches. These are World Cup qualifying matches. This is the Copa America winning team. For the most part, they're all there. Everyone that lifted the Copa America trophy is there. So let's see how they do without Messi. All eyes, at least in my opinion, appear to be on Dybala. But it could be someone like Paredes or DePaul that really make this team and this midfield their own and push the team forward. Maybe Lautaro Martinez continues to steps it up and scores a hat trick. Who knows? Who knows? Um, Hold up, writes Buendia, the Argentinian Messi definitely deserves some minutes. And man, crazy how everyone and yourself included was calling for Otamendi to be dropped before Copa, and rightly so. I can't lie, I can't complain. And he's surprised, especially in the Copa final. Hopefully, no jinx. Knocking on wood right now. Hopefully not. Hopefully continues to play well. Obviously, we've seen some how could I put this, some mistakes from Otamendi, specifically versus Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. It was the elbow on Rafinha, which easily could have been not only a red card but a penalty. So he has to keep his cool. He does have a temper. We've seen it several times throughout his career, and he's been consistent. He's been very, very well for Argentina and obviously for Benfica as well. And hopefully he continues that way. Hopefully he continues that way. So keep it going. Let's keep going with this. Here we go. So defenders, we did that. Midfielders, Nicolas Gonzalez, although we could kind of throw him into the forwards, although he kind of plays everywhere for Argentina. Lucas Ocampos, Leandro Paredes, Guido Rodriguez, Rodrigo De Paul, Lo Celso, Papu Gomez, McAllister, and Buendia. So the big question here is, and this is for everybody, right, that I'm asking, is what would be your midfield? Would you go with a 4-4-2? Would you go with a 4-3-3? If it's a 4-3-3, do you go with De Paul, Lo Celso, Paredes? Do you go with De Paul, Lo Celso, Guido? Do you go with De Paul, Guido, someone else? Who do you go with? Let me know. Leave a comment. We'll bring it up and we'll see. Personally, it's not that I want to drop Lo Celso, because I think more often than not he does play well for Argentina, and at times he'll even be one of Argentina's better players. But out of those three, he, in my opinion, and this is with all of the respect in the world to Lo Celso, the least consistent one out of De Paul and Paredes, the least consistent one in midfield. Jaco Taco writes, he would have a midfield of De Paul, De Paul, De Paul, De Paul. So 4-4-2 with De Paul covering all four. You know what? De Paul has the lungs for it. De Paul has the capacity to cover everybody in midfield, but we don't want to overwork him and burn him out. I'm taking a look. Do you go with someone like Emiliano Buendia? Like, do you not risk it, but do you give him that big chance? You put him in the starting 11. Do you go with him? Do you go with Alexis McAllister, who's slowly been improving for Brighton? Who do you go with? I look at this. I think realistically we end up getting that midfield three, the one we've been seeing since the Copa America. Although a part of me thinks maybe at one point we might see Papu Gomez, unless Papu Gomez is played in Messi's role, in which case does Dybala play? So let's take a look at what everybody here thinks. West Mills, it'll be good to see the tag team of Paredes and De Paul reunited. Yes, but who do you put with him? Who do you put with him? That's the $1,000,000 question right now. Who do you put with him? Paulo Miguel, De Paul is the engine. He's that heartbeat. He's certainly that heartbeat. And West Mills would go with Buendia. And I'm inclined to go with Buendia over Lo Celso. On form, it's not even close. On form, Lo Celso at the moment, I know he's just coming back from injury, and obviously that plays a big factor. But on form, Lo Celso is probably the weakest out of that midfield. And if you want to go with Buendia, no arguments from me. No arguments from me. I would certainly go with Buendia. Hold Up is another one. They would go with Buendia. Give him a chance. And he's an Aston Villa fan, and that explains why. Although I'm not Aston Villa's biggest fan, but you know what? You guys have Buendia and you have Emiliano Martinez, so I'm an Aston Villa fan, and I would like to see Buendia. He would be in my starting 11 for the match versus Chile. I would pick him over Lo Celso. Jaco Taco, in an ideal world, in my opinion, if Lanzini was there, I would go with Lanzini. But since Lanzini is not there, I would go with Buendia. Uh, although both are in great form and both I think could add so much more to the team. Lo Celso at times looks a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. Lanzini and Buendia have that, I don't know, that energy about them, that's something that they bring to that midfield. So I would love to see them, right? Either Lanzini or Buendia. But Jaco Taco writes, call up Lanzini to replace Correa, so Manuel Lanzini instead of Joaquin Correa, and let Lanzini slide into that Messi role. Oof. Now that is something. That is something. All right. Jaco Taco with the ideas. Anthony Garcia, same midfield as West Mills. In my opinion, that Lo Celso is the weakest of those three. Yeah, that does appear to be the general consensus. It's Lo Celso, again, he has those matches where he plays very well and, he picks out that pass that not many people can see. And then at other times, you just see him slow and sluggish and, kind of injury prone. So I would go with someone else. And Paulo Miguel, I would love to see Buendia and McAllister as number 10s behind Lautaro and that front three. Now, that would be. See, if this wasn't a World Cup qualifier and if this was not a match versus Chile and Colombia or two matches that I want to win, if this was just a throwaway friendly match, go with it. Experiment, try it out, let the boys have fun, see what they come up with, see what they do. But, I think in a World Cup qualifying match, I don't think Scaloni is going to experiment much in that. Paro Miguel, midfield of Paredes, Guido, and De Paul. That one we've seen as well throughout the Copa America and throughout the World Cup qualifiers. It's trusted, right? It's trusted. West Ham clips. Lo Celso's under a lot of pressure with lots of players in his position playing well. He's the most in danger of his place. He is out of all of the midfielders. He's the one, oddly enough, despite the fact that he's essentially featured in every single match he's been available to feature. Under Lionel Scaloni, he's played. Him and De Paul have always been there. Always been there ever since Scaloni took over. And he's in the starting 11, and he might lose his spot. And this is a World Cup year, and he has to step it up. And we are now in the second half of the season. It's the new year. It's the middle of January. We're in the second half. Things are getting tough, right? And you got to push. And Lo Celso, unfortunately, is not pushing, or doesn't appear to be pushing maybe as much as other people that play in the same position. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. West Mills, and I love Lo Celso, but we need to try someone else in that spot. Scaloni cannot afford to get this wrong. He cannot, especially when you consider that there are not many friendly matches. We know that Argentina will play Italy in June. There are rumors that they might play Brazil. Other than that, not much friendly matches. So I agree, Scaloni cannot get it wrong. Gaza Trini asks, is Lanzini in the squad? He has not been selected. No, he has not been selected, although Joaquin Correa got injured. And if he might not be able to make it, Scaloni would be allowed to call up a replacement. And who knows if it would be Manuel Lanzini or Gio Lo Celso or anyone else. Time will tell. Hold Up mentions, I actually started to support and watch Argentina or the Argentina national team because of Emiliano Martinez too. There you go. And hey, he's we joke around and I call him Emiliano Goat Tinez and everything, but the confidence that he has when he puts on that Argentina shirt, same thing when he puts on the Aston Villa shirt. He has that confidence about him, and he just seems unstoppable sometimes. Unstoppable. What about Icardi? I ask you this: what about Icardi? Not playing much for PSG, not scoring much for PSG. obviously is a distraction in the locker room, appears to be a distraction at PSG, and there's a reason why he's constantly linked with a move away from the club. And I know Icardi's been a topic of discussion several times on this show and on the website as well and on Twitter and everything. But no, Icardi is what, 28, 29 soon, and doesn't look like he's going to play at a World Cup, and doesn't look like he's ever going to be selected for a tournament for Argentina. And time is against Icardi. Time is against Icardi. And then, yes, I think Lo Celso's place is the one up for grabs, maybe because he tires after 60, 70 minutes. Could be one of the reasons. It could be one of the reasons. Fitness is not on Lo Celso's side. It's not on Lo Celso's side. Jaco Taco. As long as players like Palacios are constantly injured, then Gio's spot is pretty much secured. He links it well with Messi. Tim Vickery has written great articles about him. It is worth a read. I've checked them out. Yes, Tim Vickery is a fan of Gio Lo Celso. Look, I'm a fan of Gio Lo Celso, and I think everyone here is as well. It's just recently his run of, his form, his injuries are not helping him. It's not helping his case, and Scaloni needs that plan B in case, for whatever reason, if Lo Celso gets injured, if Lo Celso gets suspended, whatever it is at the World Cup, you need to have a solid plan B. And sometimes, as much as I love Scaloni, sometimes I feel like he just kind of like, okay, Lo Celso's injured. What do I do? You kind of maybe sense that maybe he panics a little bit and he doesn't have a real plan B for Lo Celso. And that's what I want. I want to have a proper plan B in case Lo Celso cannot play. That's what I want. That is what I want. There was a question regarding Senesi. What does he have to do to get into the Argentina team? Jaco Taco, there you go. As mentioned earlier, Senesi's had a poor season. Talk to Feyenoord fans. Oof. Gaza, we missed the best version. Yeah, the best version of Lanzini, in my opinion. I know he's doing very well now, but that 2017-2018 season, he was on fire. He was playing so well. And then injuries just hit him for a good 2 years, and I personally never thought he would recover. Good thing I'm proven wrong. Very good. Very happy I'm proven wrong. Jaco Taco, yeah, he needs to leave and return to Spain. Tottenham or England has not been too kind to Lo Celso. Let's be honest. Hasn't been kind at all. Now with Conte there, does he have Conte's confidence? Does he not? It's tough to tell. Especially when he's injured and just coming back. So we'll see what happens with Lo Celso. But that would be my midfield. So I would go with Buendia, De Paul, and Paredes. Although I think we will get Lo Celso, Paredes, and De Paul. But that's just my opinion. Right, let's continue. Let's look at the strikers here. Let's take a look at the forwards. Oh boy. So Di Maria, Correa, Alvarez, Lautaro, Joaquin Correa, Dybala, and you know what? We'll even throw Nicolas Gonzalez and Lucas Ocampos in there for the width on the wings. This is a very difficult one for me. I don't know which one to pick. Let me know what you would pick in the chat, and we'll bring it up and we'll discuss it. Obviously, Lautaro Martinez has to be there. He's the number 9. Whenever he's not there, Argentina miss goals. At one point, Lautaro didn't play. It was the match. I cannot quite remember. It was in October. I think it was against Paraguay. Versus Paraguay, Lautaro couldn't play. Joaquin Correa played. And something was off. Correa was making the runs and he was pressuring, but he's not as good of a finisher as Lautaro. He is a center forward. He's not a striker like Lautaro. So, and that does vary. That does make a difference. But we need Lautaro there. And when he's not there, we miss the goals. So I think Lautaro definitely has to start. And talking about the Paraguay match, actually, as I just mentioned, Wes Mills, one thing we saw in the Paraguay match was how much we struggled without Paredes. Guido does not have that ability to calm a game down with midfield control. We need to find a plan B in case he's hurt. Yes, and that's another one, right? What happens if Paredes can't play? The plan is Guido, and Guido is maybe more of a defensive-minded, midfielder than Paredes, sure. But if you need someone to control the game, guaranteed you have to go with Paredes over Guido. Guaranteed. You need a backup, and you need to have a backup for all three, for Lo Celso, for Paredes, and God forbid you need to have a backup for Rodrigo De Paul. Because if he ever goes down, we will miss him. If De Paul, for any reason in the world, cannot play a match for Argentina, trust me, we are going to miss him. And I think everybody here agrees as well. He's one that we have to. I'm not saying find a plan B, but try someone out. Rest him for a match, try and get someone in his spot, see what happens. See what happens. Anthony, maybe a backup for Paredes could be Lisandro, right? Lisandro Martinez. He's played in that position a few times for Ajax. Possibility, and he's played there. I think. I'm trying to remember. Could it have been against Brazil or against Uruguay? I cannot quite remember, but I know at one point Lisandro played in midfield in the last couple of. I can't remember the match. Someone here, please. I know someone could bring it up. I know he replaced. I want to say Paredes actually, even in midfield in the second half. I just can't quite remember the match. Could have been against Brazil or could have been against Uruguay. And yes, I agree. Wes Mills, very very good call on Licha. Paulo Miguel, Nicolas Dominguez is an option. What do you think? Well, he's never gotten a chance for Argentina, right? He's not in the squad this time around, if I'm not mistaken, due to injury, due to a shoulder injury. He's not selected, but he's been playing pretty well this season. I followed him a little bit, trying to keep my eye on him. He's been not too bad this season. He's never gotten a proper chance. They always substitute him on with about 5 minutes left in the match, and there's not too much that he's done, in those 5 minutes, which is normal, right? You can't expect a goal from Nicolas Dominguez if he only plays 5 minutes, maybe from others. But there you go, Aman. Thank you very much. So Licha was substituted on against Brazil. But yeah, so Nicolas Dominguez is another one I would love to see. Give him a chance. See how he does. Maybe not as a starter, but why not as a substitute? And we have Givan Levy writes, I think Simeone deserves a chance as the other number 9. I thought he was going to get called up. He was selected but several years ago for Scaloni. And if I'm not mistaken, he scored on his debut for Argentina, Giovanni Simeone. He was part of the preliminary list. A lot of us expected him to be called up. I certainly thought he would be. Doesn't happen. He's not part of the squad. We'll see now what happens with Joaquin Correa, because he's potentially out injured. So we'll see if Scaloni picks Gio Simeone or someone else, right? Or someone else out there. Give me a second. Just gonna have a sip of water, and I'm gonna read some of your comments as well. Hey, here we go. A wild card. So we do have a wild card in here. 17-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, 17-year-old Luca Romero of Lazio. Now, that would be interesting if Scaloni really wants to go with youth and with some speed and dribbling ability. Maybe a little bit too young, but, if we could tie him up from now, because Mexico, he's born in Mexico, raised in Spain, so he's eligible for all 3 countries even, Mexico, Spain, and Argentina. If we could tie him up now, why not? Throw him in there for a minute, get him capped for Argentina. Jaco Taco with a very good question. Since Messi is out, who should take the penalties? There are 2 names that come to mind for me for penalties. One is Lautaro Martinez. We saw that at Copa America, although he's missed on more than one occasion for Inter. But Lautaro for me, if not Lautaro, maybe Paredes. Leandro Paredes would be my pick for the penalties. Angel Di Maria, oddly enough, doesn't appear to be too confident when it comes to penalties. I remember in 2011 at the Copa America versus Uruguay, if I'm not mistaken, I could be confusing him with Higuain, but I think it was Di Maria. He took a penalty versus Uruguay. His shot hit the crossbar, the under part of the crossbar, and went in. And you don't really see Di Maria take much penalties. I cannot remember the last time I saw Di Maria take a penalty, but for me, it would be Paredes and Lautaro Martinez. If Messi's not there for the penalties. Gaza, Lucas Olario, I think his time has passed. The fact that he's not selected now, he's barely playing for Leverkusen in Germany. He got injured right before the Copa America. If I'm not mistaken, it was injury and not COVID. Right before the Copa America, missed out on the squad, and I don't see Olario making the national team, to be honest. Not for the World Cup. Another one that likes Luca Romero is Paulo Miguel. Jaco Taco writes Luca Romero is the truth. He's getting more minutes with Lazio. Maybe a little bit too late for him to get that World Cup squad, but if we could tie him up, why not? Why not? Hold up. Regarding Julian Alvarez, he remembers the time Aston Villa almost signed him this season, but didn't. Or sorry, in the summer last season already. We'll see. We'll see if we get Julian Alvarez at 1 point over Lautaro Martinez in one of the matches or as a substitute. It's a possibility. I hope we do, just to give him a bit of time and get him a bit of minutes. We saw him against Uruguay. He came on as a substitute. Not bad. Had a good run, but obviously deserves a little bit more time. And regarding the penalties, Paulo Miguel, it's Paredes and Lucas Lautaro Martinez for the penalties. And Simeone is in great form, not selected. We'll see if he gets picked at 1 point. There are more World Cup qualifying matches in March. So in March, it's the last two. We are struggling for a number 9 and number 11. Yes, we are. At least when it comes to backups, absolutely we are. Absolutely we are. And whoever thought we would say that about Argentina, right? But as backups, yeah, it's we don't have too many options right now, or at least ones that are in form. Jaco Taco, regarding Di Maria and his penalties, he only likes chip goals. But you know what? Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? July 10. What about that chip goal? What about that chip goal right there? All right. Dybala for penalties. So Dybala, hey, that's not a bad shout. I actually forgot about Dybala. That's a very, very good shout as well. There you go. Dybala can take penalties. If I'm not mistaken, he's Juventus's designated penalty kick taker, right? So that could be it. And Jaco Taco, a duo of Lautaro and Julian. That could happen. That could happen. We'll see. We'll see. Anthony, July 10 is a holiday. They are for you, Jaco Taco. They are. I mean, I got it tattooed on my arm, July 10, with the Copa America trophy and everything. So, oh yeah, it's a national holiday. It's a national holiday. Mixed memorabilia, exactly. Regarding the number 9s, Batistuta, Crespo, Caniggia, Balbo, Saviola, Tevez, Higuain, Agüero. Next, I don't know. Lautaro, it has to be, and it is. It is. He has a great return. I'm gonna bring up his numbers right now. I know we did this last time around, but Lautaro Martinez has. Let's bring this up. Lautaro Martinez with the Argentina national team. Has 17 goals in 35 matches. 17 goals in 35 matches. That's almost a goal every 2 games. Especially when you take into consideration that most of his matches for Argentina have been World Cup qualifiers or Copa America, that's a very good return. That's a very good return. So for me, he's the next guy. He is it. He is our number 9. He is Argentina's number 9. And yeah, Jaco Taco, a lot of babies will be born in Argentina in 2-3 months' time, right? If we go back the 9 months, West Mills, it's a beautiful tattoo. I saw it. I like it. Here, I'll try bringing it up if I could. It was quite a nice one. I think all the boys, or most of the boys on the national team, got a Copa America tattoo. DePaul got one. Yeah, DePaul got one. Di Maria, Paredes. Obviously here, Cuti Romero. I have the tattoo here somewhere. I'm just gonna bring it up. There you go. I have it here. Let's bring this up. So this is right here. This is Christian Romero's tattoo, the Copa America tattoo. I'm kind of surprised Messi doesn't have one, or at least nothing visible. But there you go. So this is Christian Romero's tattoo. Beautiful, with Campeones de America, the champions of America, right at the bottom here. Copa America trophy, beautiful, with his shirt number, with the shirt that played against Brazil. It's a nice tattoo. It's a nice tattoo. I like it. I quite like it. And now on to. So we're going from one spectrum of the pitch, from the number 9s and Lautaro Martinez, to all the way at the end. Goalkeepers. I think if for whatever reason Emiliano Martinez can of Atalanta, I think he has shown consistency. He's shown that he can play very, very well. He's shown that he can play at the highest level. If you take a look back at, I mean, just for example, the Champions League match versus Manchester United, if I'm not mistaken, the one at Old Trafford, even in Manchester, he played great. Some great saves, some big saves. My backup is him. Some people might say Walter Benitez of Nice. Absolutely. If he was in the team, why not? Give him a chance, see how he excels, see how he does. He's been playing very well for Nice for several seasons now and is very much deserving of a call up. But he's not in the team. And out of those that are part of the team, for me, it has to be Musso. And not Armani, not anyone else. It has to be Musso in case Martinez cannot make it. And Sports Planet. What about Buendia? Is playing in the starting 11? Is he good in place of Lo Celso? Yes, and that's something. So if you just joined us, if you go back just a couple of minutes, that's something we discussed. We discussed in depth in terms of the midfield regarding Buendia. Paulo Miguel, El Toro, Julian Alvarez, Giovanni Simeone, Ezequiel Cepajos, and Luis Vasquez. So a mix of youth, and actually I say a mix of youth. They're pretty much that's a very youthful attack. It's a very young attack. Very young attack. Very good question regarding Papu Gomez. Why is he not used more often? With Messi not there, these two matches, I think him and Dybala do split the work. I think one of them probably starts versus Chile and the other one starts versus Colombia and probably substitutes for each other. Who knows? But I think he and Dybala will both see minutes in the next World Cup qualifying matches. And another one, there you go, Paulo Miguel. So he'll pick Musso if Emiliano Martinez cannot make it. And yeah, Walter Benitez, man, he's been on fire. He's been on fire. Every time I watch Nice, which has surprisingly been fairly often this season, he pulls off some incredible saves, some very, very good reflexes. And he appears to have that attitude. He's not a shy goalkeeper, right? He reminds me a little bit of Emiliano Martinez, for example, right? They command respect, and he's one that strikes me as commanding goalkeeper. So he's one for me if Musso cannot make it, and if Martinez cannot make it. Yes. So the attack, we haven't discussed the attack. We've spoken about Lautaro Martinez. Yes, he's our number 9. Who would everybody go with? What would be your attack? What would be, because at this point we're going with a 4-3-3. So what's the front three for everybody? This is a name right here, Angel Correa. Do you play Correa on the wing? Do you go with Correa, Dybala, and Lautaro? Do you go with that? Correa, Dybala, Lautaro? Do you go with a different one? Do you go with Di Maria, Dybala, Lautaro? Do you go with a front two? What do you do? And good morning from Nepal for Sports Planet. Good morning. Well, Ismail Sabaj was so sick. Hopefully him and Valentin Barco play more for Boca this year and sneak into Qatar. I mean, they're going to have to play very well to get to sneak into Qatar, especially considering that right now, anyways, they're not part of the national team, but they're ones for the future, especially if they consider that way. Ceballos, wow, just he's talented. That kid is very, very talented. Master Azar, hey buddy, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. And regarding Angel Correa's goal, that's a goal of the season. That should be a Puskas nominee. And it might be, right? Come end of this year, it might be a Puskas nominee. Who knows? But what a goal. Wow. Halfway line versus Villarreal. He scored it against an Argentine goalkeeper as well. So there's a lot of Argentine names playing in Spain, and he's one of them. And I'm very glad that he has found himself to be back in the Argentina national team. Correa has been out. Yeah, at one point when Sampaoli was there, he wasn't really selected much, and then after Sampaoli, he wasn't selected too much either. So very, very happy that Correa is back in the team, and at times even getting some minutes. He's been a substitute for Argentina, so very, very happy to see that. MN, regarding the front three, I would try out Angel Correa on the left wing, Lautaro as a striker, Dybala on the right. I'm inclined to agree. I think that's what I would go with. And I'll say this would be my front three. But if for whatever reason Dybala does not play well, I'm not saying great, but if he doesn't play well, I would take him out. I'd put Papu Gomez and start Papu Gomez versus Colombia. No doubt about it. I would not even think about it twice. Again, I'm adamant. I know I might be coming off sounding a little bit harsh on Dybala. It's only because I like the guy. I want him to succeed so much, especially with Argentina, and it's just it hasn't happened for him. So that's probably why I'm harsh on him. I think he can do well. I want him to do well. Hopefully he does. Or else, personally speaking, I would go with Papu Gomez. I would go with him. Mixed memorabilia, I agree. Lautaro's doing good, and I agree with what Scaloni says. Yes. Sports Planet, Dybala, Simeone, Angel Correa. Ooh, so this would be your front three. Now, obviously, Simeone's not part of the squad, but still, we can entertain that. I want to give Simeone playing time in the sky blue and white before the World Cup, as we have already qualified. Yes, we have. We just need to have Simeone in the squad to give him that opportunity. To give him that opportunity. So, I think the general consensus here seems to be the starting 11 of Emiliano Martinez, Acuna, Lisandro Martinez, Otamendi, and Molina, and a midfield three of De Paul, uh, Paredes, and then the third spot, there were some people that wanted Emiliano Buendia, and others potentially Guido Rodriguez, and a front three of Correa, Dybala, and Lautaro. But Wes Mills writes versus Chile, he would go with Papu Gomez, Julian Alvarez, and Angel Correa. And that would be a striking force that we have never seen for Argentina. Papu Gomez has shown that he can play in that position. Alvarez would get his big time to shine, and Correa, we know what he can do, right? So this would actually be, in my opinion, a very, very formidable attack. A very formidable attack. West Ham clips. Di Maria, Lautaro, and Dybala. And by the way, West Ham clips. I completely forgot. We have to get in touch. I remember now. I remember. I do apologize. Although I blame you. You should have reminded me. You should have reminded me. But we'll be in touch. I completely forgot. I apologize. So West Ham clips writes, Di Maria, Lautaro, and Dybala. I think it's important Dybala can build a connection with the regular starters rather than other players fighting for their place. So this would, I mean, the more I look at this, the more I think Scaloni might actually go with this. I can see Scaloni going with this. I think the match versus Uruguay, where Messi was on the bench, this was the attack, right? This was the attack that Scaloni went with. It was Di Maria that got the goal, Dybala got the assist, and Lautaro was there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I could definitely see Scaloni going with this. I could see Scaloni going with this. West Mills, Colombia, Dybala, Lautaro, and Di Maria. Yeah. So so Colombia, you go with Dybala, Lautaro, Di Maria. So same one, right? Same one versus same one as West Ham clips mentioned versus Chile. That's the one you would go with. And yeah, I think I'm looking at West Mills' comment as well. If you're going to go experimental, if you do it at altitude versus Chile, although and I agree, I fully agree. I just don't know how much of how can I put this? How conclusive it's going to be versus Chile because it's at altitude. It's not like playing versus Bolivia at altitude. It doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, it's not the same height, not the same altitude. So I don't know how tired these players are going to get. But yeah, if you're gonna experiment, you may as well do it versus them because you're not going to experiment at home versus Colombia. You're certainly not going to do that at all. And I don't believe Scaloni is the type to do it as well either. What's your opinion on Messi not making the squad? So let's we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. It's a very good question, and we'll get to that. Paro Miguel, Angel Correa, Lautaro, and Fideo. So Correa, Lautaro, and Di Maria versus Chile. It is a possibility. Have we ever gotten both Angels in the starting 11 at the same time? I don't believe. But I would like this 11. Why not? Why not? You got some speed. You got two wingers that know how to dribble. Correa is a great dribbler. Di Maria, when he wants to be, is a fantastic dribbler. And you have Lautaro as the sniper. So there you go. Jacko Taco, Armani was the only player to get called up from home, along with Julian Alvarez. So Franco Armani and Alvarez are the only two players to be called up to the Argentina national team that are based in Argentina. They are the only two players called up that are based in Argentina. So let's see this. Mixed memorabilia, I need to leave. Oh, thank you for joining us. But I would like to say that Scaloni took his time to build, and all I wanted was consistency. He's done that, and now it's fine tuning. And it took him a couple of years. He started to hit his stride around 2019, the Copa America. I thought, the team kind of got screwed a little bit in that semifinal versus Brazil, and he stuck with it. Scaloni stuck with his plan. He used some of the the World Cup qualifying matches right before to try and fine tune some stuff. Kept going with the same players, figured it out. First trophy won in 28 years, and now, like you said, it's just fine tuning. World Cup in a couple of months. By the end of the year, ooh, that's gonna be some. That's gonna be some feat. That's going to be something. And then jokingly writes, "Let's give Scaloni some minutes too. He deserves it." He was tenacious. Scaloni was a tenacious defender. He had some bite to him. He had some bite to him. And yes, take it easy, Mixed Memorabilia. Thank you for joining. Thank you everybody for joining us, and be safe. And yeah, there you go, Paulo Miguel. Stay healthy as well, please, please. All right. So that's the squad that got selected. The big news being Lionel Messi, not part of the squad, and we haven't really spoken about this, so let's talk about it. I'm happy. I know this is extremely surprising, or might sound surprising. I am happy Messi's not in the squad because one, it gives us an opportunity to see how this team, how these winners, how these champions do without Messi. It gives us the chance to see who's going to step up without Messi. I'm talking about Dybala. It might be someone else. It might be Correa that scores 10 goals. It might be Papu Gomez that plays the games, the game of his life. And you're like, wow, okay, cool. Who knows? Who knows? And it gives us the opportunity to see how Scaloni does without his trump card, right? Without his get out of jail free card type of thing with Messi. Who's going to step up? I'm not asking like who's going to play that Messi role because only Messi can play that Messi role. But with Messi not in the 11, does Scaloni change tactics a little bit? Do teams attack us a little more because there's no Messi? Are teams maybe less afraid of us because there's no Messi? How are teams going to approach that? And how is Scaloni going to counteract that? That's one of the reasons why I'm happy. The second reason is exactly the reason that Paulo Miguel just mentioned here. He deserves to rest. He deserves to rest. Messi clearly has been battling a lot of injuries throughout these years. And I say years, so before he even joined Paris, before he joined PSG, he had that injury versus Venezuela that he suffered against them, which you could tell never fully fit, not 100% ever since then. COVID, he's just coming back. He might play on the weekend. In all likelihood, he will play on the weekend for PSG against, I think it's Rennes. I'm not sure. Give him the rest. He deserves it. He deserves it. Champions League is coming up next month for them as well. The last thing you want for Messi is to travel from Europe to South America to Europe, get brutally kicked and tackled and who knows what. Let him rest. If Argentina had not yet qualified for the World Cup, I would say no, play him. And I'm sure Messi would have played as well and would have been selected had Argentina not been qualified for the World Cup. But the great news, Argentina's qualified for the World Cup. So let him rest. I would rest him now and rest him in March as well. Although, if rumors are to be believed, and the home match in March is going to be played in Rosario at the Marcelo Bielsa Stadium, which is Newell's Old Boys Stadium, Messi's going to be there. Messi's going to be there. But otherwise, I would rest him this time, and I would rest him next time, and just play him against Italy in June. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I think it's a bit of both. I think they spoke. Leo's, he's not a child. I think he knows how he is. I think physically Leo could play, and I think he wants to play. But I think he's smart enough now to realize, okay, I don't need to play. And if rumors are to be believed, initially it was Scaloni that Scaloni and his coaching staff that said, well, we kind of don't want him to play initially. If rumors are to be believed, Jaco Taco just reminded the Chileans are not used to the altitude either. They are playing in the altitude for preparation versus Bolivia. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, I think, for Chile. I think it is preparation versus Bolivia, and I think they think that they have a better chance of beating Argentina at altitude. So I think it's 2-for-1 in Chile. I think they're preparing for their match versus Bolivia, which they have to win because Chile could easily miss out on the World Cup. And I think that they think they have a better idea of getting the win versus Argentina at altitude rather than not at altitude. Right? Wes Mills, Messi's so loyal to Argentina. The fact that he almost made the trip is insane. I'm glad he's letting his body heal. I don't think anyone for years, and in my opinion, ever, in my opinion. But I don't think anyone's really ever been able to doubt Messi's loyalty to the Argentina national team. In my opinion, I know there's some doubters, or there were some doubters. Maybe there still are, but I was never a doubter. I was always believed in him. Sports Planet, can our team have a potential to beat European top team? Why not? Why not? If we're being honest, let's get this. Let's take off the gloves. Let's take off the gloves. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the European teams. European winners, Italy. All right. Great team, solid team, team that won the Euros. Might not make the World Cup. Might not qualify for the World Cup. All right. Italy has their own problems. Italy has their own problems. And people like to look down on Argentina saying, well, they play in South America. They don't play against top European teams. So what? Top European teams don't play against Argentina. That's how I see it. I don't see it the other way around. I see it that European teams don't play against Argentina. So you got Italy. Great, a very good team. European champions, definitely beatable. England, nah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. If we're going to talk about England, look at their run in the Euros. They faced one strong team, lost. Every single match was at home, bar one. We're not going to do that. Exactly, man. Italy don't want no smoke. So not Italy, not England. Spain, absolutely. I'll tell you this. Spain has a solid chance. I personally don't like them, but Spain has a solid chance of making a proper run at the World Cup and potentially even winning the World Cup. They have a great team. Luis Enrique, Lucho's doing a great job with them. They lost in the Euros, if I'm not mistaken, on penalties. And, they happen. These things happen. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Piqué came out afterwards and said, oh, the team that always kicks first in penalties, they have the advantage. Forget about that. No, they don't. Cuadrado took the first penalty versus Argentina for Colombia. He scored. Argentina won. But Spain, definitely, they have a chance at winning it. But that's not to say that Argentina cannot beat them. Argentina can beat Spain. I have no doubt about it. Right? I'm not saying it would be easy. It'd be even. It'd be a close match. It'd be a very close match. Right? Spain has their style. They love to have possession. Argentina maybe at times try and play a little bit on the counter, maybe, right? Or, I mean, at least at the Copa America, they get the first goal, kind of sit back and try to play on the counter. But, Spain is a very good team. Absolutely. France have their own problems. France definitely have their own problems, and I'm talking about off the pitch. Benzema, great form. Mbappe is Mbappe, right? I don't think anything needs to be said about Mbappe. Kante, probably the best in the world at his position. But if you look at it, and yes, they are world champions. They're the reigning champs. But we saw at the Euros what kind of problems they could have. My opinion, and I joke about this. On Twitter. Hugo Lloris is the worst top goalkeeper, in my opinion. He has matches where he just seems unstoppable. And then he has matches where if you're a France fan or if you're a Tottenham fan, you want to rip your hair out. He has those matches where he chokes. And we saw it versus Argentina at the World Cup. Hugo Lloris did not have a good match. France won for different reasons. France did not win because of Hugo Lloris. They could have easily lost it because of Hugo Lloris. But they didn't win it. France is another one, right? Ahmed mentions it. France are their own worst enemies. Anthony, I would be unease versus Spain, France, and Germany. Those are the three teams. I was going to get to Germany. Germany, youth team, very young team. Played well at the Euros. Beatable. The only issue with Germany for Argentina, it's that mental block. 1990, Argentina got screwed. 2006, they injured Abondanzieri, took off a substitute. 2010, that was all done, right? We're not even going to talk about 2010. Credit to them. 2014, Argentina lost that final, in my opinion. So for me, Germany, it's the mental aspect of it. But this is a winning team. They won the Copa America. They got that monkey off their back. Could they beat Germany? I don't know. In my opinion, those are the three teams to beat. Jack Otako, France's defense is suspect. It's a team that relies on athleticism and speed. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we saw it. We saw it in 2018. Granted, Mbappe was still very young and very raw. I'm not taking anything away from him by any means. He's a great player. So I don't want anybody to understand me wrong. But we saw Mbappe, and we see it a couple of times with PSG. If you shut down Mbappe, and by shut down I mean go watch France versus Uruguay in 2018. They gave Mbappe no space to run. Mbappe was shut down that match. Did not have a good match at all versus Uruguay in 2018. Didn't have a good match. If you know how to shut down, don't let him have that space to run at you. You could have a decent match against Mbappe sometimes. And then sometimes it's the speed. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. West Mills, another okay. So Belgium. So see, I've been hearing about Belgium for about a decade now. Golden generation, golden generation, golden generation, golden generation. In 2014, that golden generation got shut down by Jose Maria Basanta, who shut down, who was it? Hazard? Yeah, right? Marcos Rojo was injured. Basanta played as left back. Great game. Shut Belgium down. That was 2014. 2016 Euros, didn't win it, right? Didn't make the final. 2018 World Cup, good game against Brazil. Did not show up against France. The Euros this time around, good game versus Portugal, lost against eventual champs Italy. At one point, you got to stop making excuses. I don't care if it's injuries. I don't care what it is. If you have that so-called golden generation, prove it. Prove it. That's my opinion. That's me. It might be arrogance. It might be, call it whatever you want. It's very possible. But you got to prove it at one point, right? Argentina, we spoke about, that 2006 team. Oh my God, we have the greatest players. We have the best players. We have the best team. For whatever reason, we were not able to win anything for 28 years. Right? Took us that long. But in the end, we proved it. Belgium's yet to prove anything. Yeah, Uruguay policed Mbappe. They shut him down that match. West Mills, Belgium, France, Spain all make me nervous. Look, Belgium are a very well-rounded team with a great goalkeeper. I mean, Thibaut Courtois, wow. Very, very tall goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper, taking nothing away from him. Defense, you could have a run at them. Defensively, I think you could have a run at Belgium. I don't think they're the best defensively. De Bruyne, we saw him at the Euros. He was injured, right? He wasn't fully fit, but we saw what they were not able to do without him. And Lukaku, when he plays for Belgium, is great. So he is a threat. Would I want to play against Belgium? Are they the first team I want to play against? No. But am I afraid of Belgium? Should they be afraid of us? Yeah. My whole thing is I'm not a fan of European fans or fans of European nations that look down on Argentina or Brazil and think, oh, well, they're not European. We could beat them. No. What has Belgium proven? They can beat you. Absolutely. But what have they proven? It's my opinion. That's my opinion. Belgium's defense. There you go. Belgium overhyped. They always underwhelm. I would rather have Italy. I've never, and this is before Cristiano Ronaldo, I've never, ever liked Portugal. And I will never, ever like Portugal. I would rather have Italy over Portugal, but having them both out would be even better. It would be even better. For me, anyways. Yeah, so I mean, I think that was the last good chance for them. It was 2018. If you want to push it a little bit, you could say 2020 in the Euros. But yeah, look, they have a good team. And on their day, they could beat anyone. But you know what? Argentina on their day can beat anyone too. So I think we have to stop with this. And I'm not talking about anyone here in particular, but having that mindset of, oh my God, Argentina, they're a good team, but if they ever play a European team, they're going to get smoked. No, they won't. The European team might get smoked. That's a possibility. There you go. Coutinho Romero will police Lukaku, and De Bruyne is the main threat. He is. And you know what? People want to talk about Coutinho Romero. Go watch him at the Copa America. Go watch Argentina against Neymar. Neymar had a good game. Don't get me wrong in that final. He had a good game, but we shut him down. Montiel shut down that entire wing. Everybody. Gabriel Barbosa, sorry. Neymar, Richarlison came on. Shut everybody down. That's Gonzalo Montiel. Played the game of his life. The game of his life. Talent's there. Talent's there. I'm just saying, would I want to play a European team before the World Cup? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, there's only so many times you could play Uruguay or Brazil or Chile and Paraguay, right? You want to play against other teams. Do you want to play against a European team? Absolutely. Absolutely. Test things out. Even if we lose, I know obviously none of us want that undefeated streak to end. But even if we lose, try new players, try different formations, try something, see how it goes. It's a new team. How are they going to approach us? How are we going to approach them? That's why I want to play a European team. I don't really want to play a European team to test ourselves to see are we at the same level. Because I know that Argentina, with the starting 11 that we have, are at the same level. I'm confident about that. I'm very sure about it. But I want to play a European team to see the other players. See maybe players not part of the starting 11. That's what I want. That's what I want. Anthony would like to face more European teams before the World Cup, but with the UEFA Nations League in June and September, there's no space to play European teams before the World Cup. That's the other thing as well. It's the scheduling. It's difficult to find the matches, to find that time slot to play a European team. Unfortunately. West Mills. I mean, 2024 Nations League. You have some South American teams or all South American teams that are going to be invited. It's like a mini World Cup that they're trying to build. Right? MN, yes, there you go. The World Cup curse going strong. We saw Germany in 2018. They crashed out early. Spain in 2014. They crashed out early. Italy in 2010. They crashed out early, if I'm not mistaken. Did Italy not make the World Cup in 2010? No, they made it, if I'm not mistaken. They crashed out early. I believe they had Slovenia or Slovakia, I think, in the group. So yeah, the curse is there. The curse is there. No era una pregunta. In June, we'll beat Italy. Of course. I don't doubt it. I get where you're coming from, Roy. You can literally win every game in South America, and people will say, but could you beat a European team? Yes. Yeah. Now, those are two teams or three teams I would like to play. Because the United States have been playing well. They've been growing. They have some good players. South Korea and Japan are teams that, for the most part, often cause us, I'm not going to say often cause us problems, but they're not easy to play against. And they have a different style. They don't play that European style, or they don't play the South American style. They are quick. They're very technical on the ball. They're very good teams. And I'd like to play one of them before the World Cup. Get a test, get a match. Do it. West Ham Clips. South American football is a higher standard than European, in my opinion. If you play 10 in South America, you'll have 7 or 8 tough matches. In Europe, you will play 5 or 6 and then play San Marino, Luxembourg. Yeah. And I agree, man. I agree. I don't disagree a single bit. There's no easy match in South America. I know people look at it and say, oh, Bolivia, or, oh, I don't know who, Venezuela or whatever. Yeah, but go play at altitude. I've never been at altitude, but when you watch these professional players, these professional athletes play at altitude and struggle, it makes you wonder, especially with all of the traveling, with the fans at the hotel, you don't sleep, the buses, the flares, the fireworks, the things they throw at you. It's not easy. There you go. At Luxembourg. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So, wow, we've been going on for an hour and 14 minutes now. Absolutely incredible. We spoke about a lot. We spoke about Argentina, the matches. We spoke about the European teams. We spoke about a lot. That's the thing, Evan. We can't really schedule them. Potentially one in the summer, and even that might be against Brazil. So, fact, South American qualifiers are insane. 80 goals here are worth double than in Europe for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Denmark and Cameroon. right? I haven't been watching. I because of the time difference, I haven't been watching much of the African Cup of Nations, but I saw some upsets. I saw some great goals, some great goals. Why not? Yeah, I mean, we always end up playing Nigeria at the World Cup, but playing another African side before the World Cup could be a benefit. Could be a benefit. And Denmark as well. We saw their run in the Euros. I think they have a good team. Maybe slightly overachieved in the Euros, possibly. Just my opinion, but still, I'm not taking anything away. They have a great team, and in my opinion, a great goalkeeper. Absolutely great goalkeeper. So let's end this on a high. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. What a stream! Hey, this stream is this stream because of you, because of everybody here, because of everybody showing up and showing their support. So thank you for that. It's very much appreciated. Thank you, Paulo Miguel. Very much appreciated. Yes, there you go, Wes. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And be safe. Be safe. I'm not sure, from where you said you're flying out from the United States. Be safe, Wes. Have a safe flight and enjoy yourself. Have fun. Have fun. And hopefully you get to celebrate 6 Argentina points while you're there. I certainly did. I certainly did. And West Ham Clips, thank you, buddy. You too. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If it's your first time here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have the South American qualifiers coming up. We have some live video streams coming up. Not alone, obviously, with everybody here. And we'll try and get Sebastian Garcia in as well for our post-match live discussions. Always a pleasure, always fun. Thank you, everybody. Paulo Miguel, you too. Stay safe. Stay healthy, everybody. Take care. Once more, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and be safe, everybody. Thank you.